Just got done watching Ash, starring Isaac Gonzalez, and that's right, Powerplex, Aaron Paul. And so this movie, from what I've been hearing, it went to, I think South by Southwest and some other places, and people were just raving about this movie because, Isaac Gonzalez, that's a baddie. And she isn't put into a whole lot of movies, and when she is, she's always a supporting cast. And so with her starring in this movie, I kept hearing that, she was off the chain, she's off the charts, very, very Dead Space inspired, stuff like that. And I can tell you this, while this movie does not meet a lot of these hypes I was hearing, it's still pretty good. So going right into it, the plot of the movie is that Isaac Gonzalez plays a character on a space station. I'm already forgetting her name because I think they say it like twice. But she wakes up on a space station and all of her crew are dead. The captain, everybody, they're all dead. And she's having flashes, like these scary ass flashes of, how her crew died. And it seems like she killed them, but we don't know, and something like that. So it's kind of like this mystery. And the mystery starts getting even crazier when Aaron Paul shows up. His character flew in from the space station when he got a distress signal from them. And he basically shows up to help her out because now he's like, okay, got a murder investigation. She wants to solve it, but he's like, no, we don't need to solve it. He's like, we need to get the fuck off this planet, okay? And there's a whole lot of things going on, especially like while they're on the planet. What's going on here? Is there alien life? Is there not? What's, who killed the crew? What's going on? And so there's a lot of questions, and I feel like my problem with the movie is I watched it with a buddy of mine. He disliked it, like the beginning, a lot more than I did. I liked it, I just didn't love it. It's a slow burn, but in like the most heavy emphasis of slow. Nothing really happens in this movie until like the last, I want to say 30. I think it's about 35, 40 minutes or whatever. And so that means you're going about 40-something minutes with nothing really happening. And I get it, it's a mystery, something like that. But like I always say, a slow burn only works if the payoff works. And the payoff for this works. Excellent. The vibe is great. It definitely feels low budget, but in all the best ways. It feels kind of like an indie film, which I guess it technically kind of is. This planet that they have, this world, they don't go too crazy. They're not like, oh my god, we got all this space travel, this and that. They just show a couple things like that. It feels very grounded. But I like all the set pieces and all the stuff like that. So for example, they have like these suits where they have to go out and they breathe the air. And those suits were just so cool looking. They even have like a damn cutter. And I said, oh my god, this is Dead Space. This is like the Dead Space film that you never knew you wanted. Much like how The Gorge was the Resident Evil movie you didn't know you wanted. This movie is fucking Dead Space. I would even say more so, especially with the tailor end of the film, where it just gets batshit crazy. You get a lot of these cosmic horror vibes, a lot of these crazy things happening. The twist in the film worked for me, but while it worked for me, it's something that we've seen a lot of. You'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. Not necessarily plot-wise, but it's like, okay, I've seen this before. It's looking a little familiar. And so it kind of relies heavily on some stuff like that. But for me, just the practical effects they use, the scares kind of work. It's not really a scary film. There's like one scare in particular that got me and my friend, because mainly I feel like the other scares would have worked, but for whatever reason our AMC theater had like the volume turned down low. I literally leaned over to him because there's nobody else in this theater, and I said, hey man, what about this and that? And like I could hear my voice. I was like, this movie's not loud at all. I was like, I'm just talking like out, like I was whispering, but like I could fucking, like it was like out loud. But outside of that, I feel like that would have actually worked, so I'm not gonna disgrade it for that. That's on AMC. But there was one scare where she sees a vision and this one dude's standing by this door, like he's like in the crack, and like you see his eyes and he's like all like over like blood and stuff. It's like you can only see the eyes, and I was like, that kind of worked. That was effective. That was scary as fuck. But everything else is just kind of like, you know, not really scary. But like I said, those last 40 minutes pay off for me. It fucking worked. I don't think this is going to be one of the greatest movies of the year, something like that. But if you're definitely doing a horror ranked list, seeing as the shit that I've seen this year, this would be definitely up there. This would be up there in the top 5 so far. And so I really think they need make more movies like this. I would love to see more cosmic horror, more, space horror type of stuff, some more Dead Space inspired type of stuff. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm giving this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this film if you saw it. And if you haven't, do you want to see it? And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
It's me.
Please send me a distress call.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.